Hello, welcome back. Thank you for watching today. You know what? Today we're going to work on some straddle and some pancake. It's going to be great. I know that a lot of you guys have troubles with straddle, so I really wanted to spend a little bit of time focusing on some of the exercises that have helped me really improve my straddle, because when I started, I did not have a good straddle. It was like 90 degrees. My hips were tilted back. I felt completely stuck. And I know that that stuck feeling can feel like really discouraging. So I wanted to give you guys some tools to help make that better. And also to remind you that progress in flexibility is not gonna happen like all of a sudden. There's not gonna be like an, wow, I figured this out today moment. There's gonna be like a lot of very slow, very tiny progress. And so I do encourage you to take pictures of where you're at now and then don't look at them for 6 months. And then look at them again 6 months from now and take some new photos. And if you've been working on it, maybe compare them, because I bet you'll see a difference. That's something that I wish that I had done. I don't have photos of when I first started working on flexibility, so I can't compare them, and I really wish that I could. So I highly recommend doing that. With that said, go warm up. There's no warm up included in this video, so make sure that you do a warm up video, okay? The warm up dance video that I posted last month is a really good one before the stuff that we're gonna do today. So we're gonna do a little bit of active straddle flexibility kind of stuff, and then we'll do a little bit of passive stretching that'll feel really nice. But I do think that the active stuff is really, really important for you guys that want to improve your ability to sit upright in a straddle and to get your pelvis to rotate. I'm wiggling my hips back and forth while I say this. So where a lot of you are stuck is back here with your lower back kind of rounded and your tailbone tucked under. And it's that pelvic tilt that will really help get you a little bit deeper into your straddle. The other thing that I've recently learned is very important for straddle and middle split flexibility is the ability of your legs to externally rotate in your hip socket. So we'll do a little bit of that today too. With that said, let's get started. Enough talking. The first thing that we're gonna do is sit in a butterfly. In your butterfly, I really want you to make sure that your big toe knuckles, your big toe mounds right here, are really pressing into one another. When they drift apart, you can probably see this in my feet. My ankles kind of extend. So if I come a little closer and I stick my leg up here. Okay, so if you look at my ankle, if I flex my foot and you can imagine I'm pushing into this big toe mound here, my ankle stays really stable and really stiff. But if I relax right here, what happens in your butterfly is your foot turns. So your ankle ends up taking the stretch right here through your outer ankle, which is not good for it. So we really want to push through that big toe mound to stabilize the outer ankle. And that's going to make more of the stretch go into your hip joint. It's also going to help protect your knees a little bit, which is very important. We like having knees. Okay, here we go. So, sitting in your butterfly with your big toes pushing in towards one another. Sit up as tall as you possibly can. Try and make your spine as tall as you possibly can. And this is going to be a little bit hard. Then, what I want you to do is keep sitting up as tall as you can. Squeeze your butt muscles back here. Use them to push your knees towards the ground. And we're just going to stay. We're going to hold this for about a minute. It's going to be great. So, arms reach out in front of you, sitting up really tall, really squeezing your butt muscles. Try and push your knees towards the ground. And stay. Yay, so fun. This is probably the number one exercise that made my straddle better. Is just strengthening these muscles back here and sitting up really tall and strengthening the core muscles you need for sitting up. Keep squeezing your butt. You're doing a great job. Keep pushing your big toes into one another. Your toes themselves can be whatever shape they want to be. Mine really want to do like the Barbie foot floint thing where my toes flex. But make sure that those big toe joints keep pushing into each other. Keep sitting up really tall. Almost there. 5 more seconds. All right, now you can relax. So we're gonna hold on to our toes with one hand. We're gonna take the other hand. We're gonna push our leg away from us, and I'm kind of leaning my elbow against my shin here, and we're twisting and looking up towards the sky. So you should feel kind of a nice stretch down the side of your back here, and maybe in your inner thigh too. And then let's switch and do the other side. And shake your legs out for a second. Okay, the next thing that we're gonna do is a fun external rotation exercise. So you're gonna be on hands and knees, and you're gonna stick one leg out behind you with your toe flat on the ground, your knee pointing towards the floor. And then all you're gonna do is practice turning your leg without letting your hip move. So we're really just externally rotating within our hip socket. So the movement is coming from up here in your leg, not your knee or your ankle. We're gonna do 10 of those. So we're rotating for 1, 2, 3, 4, straighten that knee, 5, I know it's hard to see because I'm wearing baggy pants. 6, but I'm trying to straighten my knee as much as possible. 7, 8, and think about reaching out through that foot. 9, and 10. And then let's switch, let's do the other side. Reaching out through the foot, straightening the knee, we'll rotate for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now we're going to do that one more time on each leg. This time we're going to lift the leg up to hip height. I don't want you to arch the lower back though. I want you to really keep the tummy pulled in, keep the back stable, and keep the leg in line with the hip. And let's rotate for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Other side. Get ready. Let's go for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, shake it up for a second. The next thing that we're gonna do is a whale's tail stretch. So you're gonna lay down on your back, and then from laying down on your back, you're gonna cross one knee over top of the other, like this. Then you're gonna reach up and you're gonna hold on to either the outsides of your feet or your ankles. You're gonna bend your knees and you're gonna try and pull your feet or your ankles in. Now, you can probably see my lower back's super rounded and my butt's not staying on the ground. That's because this is like my least flexible direction in the entire world. Try really hard to get your back and your butt onto the ground as much as you possibly can. I'm still working on it. It's a work in progress. Although, if you watched me do this like 3 weeks ago, you'll notice that now I can actually stay here without falling over. So that's magic. When I first tried, you guys, it was a mess. I was falling all over the place. I couldn't balance. I couldn't hang on to my feet. So it is getting better. Practice makes progress. It's happening. Alright, let's switch. Shake your legs out for a second. Let's put the other leg on top. Holding onto the feet, flexing the feet, pulling them in, feeling a nice stretch through your hips. Or a not so nice stretch through your hips. Just keep breathing. No pinching sensations. Come out if it's pinching. Alright, shake it out again. Okay. The next thing we're gonna do is a frog stretch. Now, I like to do this one with my knees on blocks because my knees are kind of sensitive and the floor hurts. So, if you have blocks, grab them. If you don't have blocks, you also can do this without blocks. Just maybe fold up a blanket or a towel or something to put under your knees so that you have some padding. I'm gonna go sideways so that you guys can see what's happening. So, we're gonna want our knees on the blocks. Am I gonna be too close? I'm gonna be too close. Okay, let's go sideways to this way. That'll work better. One knee, the other knee. Okay, so my knees are on blocks, my feet are on the ground, and I'm gonna come down to my elbows. And the first thing that we're gonna do here is just some cat-cows. We want our knees to be in line with our hips and our feet to be in line with our knees. I also want you to be feeling a stretch in here through your inner thighs. We don't want any pressure in the sacrum or pinching in the outer hip. If you are feeling pressure back there or pinching, try shifting your hips backwards or forwards a little bit until that sensation is gone, okay? So hips in line with your knees is the ideal alignment, but number one, most important, is that we're not putting pressure on the sacrum or pinching our hip joint. So if you need to shift a little bit, that is okay. And then as your hips get a little more flexible, you might be able to get a little bit more in line. Okay, here we go. We're gonna tuck the tail under and then arch the back like you're doing a cat-cow. And now we're just gonna rock the hips a little bit forwards and a little bit back. A little bit forwards, a little bit back. Okay, now try and keep your hips a little bit back where the most stretch is. Keep your back a teensy bit arched as well, almost like you're sticking your butt out. Then you're gonna see whether you can lift one foot up a couple times. Try really hard not to dump your hips forwards when you lift your foot up. Let's do one more. Then let's do the other side. One side might be harder than the other. Just be patient with yourself. One more. All right, now let's see if we can lift both. This one's pretty hard. Last one. All right, let's bring our toes together and then walk ourselves back on our hands. So we're bringing our bum kind of back towards our heels. Now, variation one, you can keep your hands on the ground here, okay? If you feel good, see if you can bring them up onto your legs. And then all we're gonna do is push our knees down into the blocks or the floor and lift our hips and lower our hips. Lift, lower. Let's do that 2 more times. Stay up on the last one and then try and wiggle your hips from side to side. And then sink down again and come on off of those blocks. All right. I know this video is getting a little bit long. We're just gonna do one more thing and it's our straddle. So, sit in your straddle, legs out to the sides. Use your hands behind you to help you sit up as tall as you can. Think about pointing your feet and your knees up towards the ceiling. Now stick your hands next to your ears. Keep thinking about sticking your tail out behind you. Lean as far forwards as you can. Push your feet into the ground to help you get back up. We're gonna do that 4 more times. Two more. Last one. And now you're just gonna walk your hands as far forwards as you can. And with your hands walked forwards, hopefully you can see me from the side for a second. You're gonna squeeze your shoulder blades together like you're sticking your chest out. And I'm really like pulling with my hands to help lengthen my spine. Think about sticking your tail out behind you. And then see whether you can keep that spine shape and walk your hands a little bit deeper. And then come on out. Now we're gonna bring our legs in a little bit so that they're like halfway in between our straddle and legs together. We're just gonna do the same thing. Walk hands forwards, make sure your feet and your knees are pointing up at the sky, and then use your hands, pull them, traction them along the ground. Pull your chest between your arms, stick your tail out. And then I like to kind of wiggle from side to side here. You can do that if it feels good, but you don't have to. And then come on out. Give your legs a big hug. Nice work today, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you have questions or concerns or feedback or anything, as always, give me a shout. I love to hear from you guys. Friendly reminder that our contest is still running. You could still win a Zoom private lesson. All you gotta do to enter is send me a direct message of the silver lining that you have found in this whole pandemic business. I talked about it in an audio workout last week, but you do have until January 30th to apply. I am going to announce our contest winner on February 1st. So, If you want to win an online Zoom session with me to work on whatever you would like to work on, make sure you send me a message. Let me know what is a good thing that you have pulled out of this whole pandemic experience. Go back, check out the audio workouts from the last week, the last 2 weeks. Listen to them all. Do the workouts. And you'll hear me talk about my silver lining from this whole pandemic thing, which is, in fact, you guys, my wonderful community. So, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I will talk at you again soon.